I just want you to know, whenever you do these things, any of you have a Bible? Bible? Okay. Can you read for me from Malachi? Malachi comes just before the Gospels. Malachi 3:16. Then they feared the Lord, spoke often one another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. The book of remembrance was written. The book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. That is all, thought upon his name. Where was the book? Before the Lord. Okay? And whenever you thought about the Lord, about you, the angels are entering your name. Okay? Now can you imagine how many thousand people are here? The whole day we are talking about the Lord. Angels are so busy in heaven entering our name every minute. They have to enter. Can you imagine? What's your name, girlie? Malaika. Okay, Malaika. Imagine. Every time the Lord is asking the angel, what are you doing? I'm entering Malaika's name. After 2 hours again, the angel is asking, what are you doing? I'm entering in Malaika's name because she's listening to my talk. After 2 hours, once again, the Lord is asking, what are you doing to the angel? He's saying, I'm entering Malaika's name because she's singing my praises. And once again, the Lord is asking, what are you doing? I'm entering Malaika's name because while she's eating her dinner, she's talking to her friends about me. And you know what happens finally? When the next day, when the Lord is asking the angel, he says, what are you doing? You don't have to tell me, actually, I know you are writing Malaika's name because she's talking about me, thinking about me, speaking about me all the time. And what happens after some times, after the prayer meeting is over, this retreat is over, Malaika is, while studying, she is finding it very difficult to study her maths or whatever it is. And she goes to the Lord, Lord, please, he asks, who are you? I'm Malaika. Oh, you Malaika, I know you. Because you are all the time thinking about me, talking about me, writing about me. How can I not give you what you want? So that is what happens. The Lord cannot. My dear people, let me tell you one thing. It is sure and certain, because I'm talking to you from conviction. The Lord will shake heaven and earth to give you what you want and to be what you are supposed to be. He will do anything for you, provided. The only thing that you need to do is just acknowledge the Lord. Think of him day and night. Day and night is just this. All the time talking to him about Jesus, talking to people about him, telling them, Lord, this is what I want to do. How do you think I'm telling you, my dear people? As I told you, full conviction. How do you think? You just ask. Some of my students are here. They call me student's principal. I think, am I popular? I think I am, okay? I'm popular. So why? It's only because all the time I ask the Lord, lead me. Tell me what I need to, how to guide these youngsters. Give me that love and compassion. And I've got lots of it for these youngsters. Even if the teachers find fault with these youngsters, I will not do that. I keep telling them, they are young, inexperienced. Treat them like your children. Would you treat your child the way you are treating her now? And I also tell them, you all are mothers. You should be able to understand these youngsters much better than me. But the Lord has put a lot of love and compassion into my heart, my dear people, so that I could lead the youngsters in the way He wanted. You want to make your life beautiful. All that is important is He wants to make a beautiful design out of your life. Beautiful. as that like the cup that was there. But it requires fire and time. Fire and time. See, the gold can shine only if it is put it in the fire. So, my dear people, you will go through hardships, painful situations. Sometimes people will ask, why me? Why me? It's true, why me? Why couldn't you choose somebody else? Moses asked the Lord, why me? I don't want. Jeremiah said, Lord, I don't want to be your instrument. Isaiah also said, no, I don't want to be. Nobody wants to follow the Lord as such. Why me? Why me? But the Lord is using you in different ways. He may not so dramatically as he chose Jeremiah, Isaiah, or Paul for that matter. So beautiful his conversion. I always admire, I tell the Lord sometimes, Lord, give me that same experience as what you gave it to Paul. Oh my God, so beautiful experience to touch. But he uses different people differently. So he has a plan for you, my dear people. And every day, he will use in the way you think best. It seems there was a pastor. It seemed there was two pastors that they were taking a walk in the garden. And the younger priest or the younger pastor was talking to a more experienced one, and he said, Lord, I just want to know what the Lord's plan for me and for my future. So the older priests or the pastors, since they were in the garden, he took him to a rose bush and he plucked a rose bud and gave it to him. And he said, I want you to do one thing for me. Can you unfold the petals for me without, this is important, unfold the petals for me without tearing them, without tearing the petals. So can you unfold the rose? The younger priest was quite perplexed. He said, why? What's the connection between my future plan for my life and this rosebud? And he tried. He said, out of respect for the old man, he said, okay, let me try. And he was trying. It was not possible. It was almost impossible for him to unfold the petals without tearing. Then the priest recites this poem for him. This is what he says. The secret of unfolding flowers is not known to such as I. God opens his flowers so easily, but in my hands they die. If I cannot unfold a rosebud, this flower of God's design, then how can I have the wisdom to unfold this life of mine? So, I will trust in God for leading each moment of my day. I will look to God for guidance in each step of the way. The path that lies before me, only my Lord knows. I will trust God to unfold the moments just as he unfolds the rose. So true, every minute, my dear people. Don't be desperate. Don't be impatient with your life. Most of the people, I have seen my students, okay, they want to get the best of jobs and they must get right from the beginning the highest pay. Otherwise they are not satisfied. They are not satisfied. You can't do that. Ask the Lord what he wants out of your life. He has a beautiful plan for you. And petal by petal, day by day, he will unfold the plan for you. I'm telling you now, mine, I was born in Mangalore, in a remote village. We were 10 children. I'm the 8th one. And I want to tell you, I never ever imagined that I would be standing here with you, talking to you today. Never. Never did I ever imagine that I would be the principal of Mount Carmel College for so many years. It's beyond me even to think. You know, when I finished my degree, see the Lord's plan, how beautiful it is. When I finished I studied in Mount Carmel. I finished my degree. We two sisters were studying together in the same class. And my superior and the other sisters, those who were planning our future, they sent me for B.Ed, to do my B.Ed to Bombay. They wanted me to go to Bombay. And my companion, they kept her back thinking she can do her MSc and teach in college. So I packed and I went to Bombay. And barely, I was there for 2 weeks. Call comes. That time there were, 35 years ago, there are no mobiles and all, okay? Either telegram or landline, you know how difficult it is to get trunk calls. And so they phoned up and said, you come back. You know why? I got first class and my companion got second class. And that time, 35 years ago, there's no way you could get in, by paying money and influence, nothing. You had to, it was absolutely on merit, and the names would go, everybody would know who would get a next chance. If one person doesn't come, so the next one. And I was called back. See the Lord's plan. My sisters, my superiors wanted me to do B.Ed and be in school. They wanted me to be in Bombay, but the Lord said, no, Juanita, you come back to Bangalore. Bangalore has a better weather, so I want my daughter to be there. So he put me back in Bangalore. And ever since then, step by step, it hasn't been easy. I want to tell you that. Don't think nuns' life is beautiful. I wish all of you become nuns. So those who are here. And, but there are hard times too. As I said, always the life is, is not a bed of roses. But if you have a joy in your heart and peace in your heart and the love in your heart and Jesus in your heart, more than anything, if you have Jesus in your heart, my dear people, you will lack nothing. You will lack nothing. The Lord is going to work, make you a beautiful cup, the masterpiece. That is what He wants you to be. To fulfill your plan that you have, what I want you to, I'll give you an example of eagle. Have you seen an eagle? Are you tired now, my dear people? So please stand. No, please stand and we will sing one song. Can we sing one song before I go into the next one? Yes, come stand. Okay, any song. Who is here? Anybody who can sing? No? Any song? Which song do you want to sing? Come. Good. Come. If anybody who can, yeah, come. All, anybody can sing. Hey, come, all of you join. Yeah, some jumping before I go into the next one.
Which one? Okay, so action song? Okay, which one? Mercy is falling. Sure? Alright, mercy is falling. Okay, can we begin? Say, hey ho. Say, hey ho. That's all energy. We say, hey ho. mercy. Hey, oh, I receive your grace. I receive your grace. And hey, oh, I will dance forevermore. Mercy is falling, is falling, is falling. Mercy is falling like sweet spring rain. Mercy is falling on the world. Mercy is falling, is falling, is falling. Mercy is falling like sweet spring rain. Mercy is falling on the world. Say, hey, oh, hey, oh, I receive your mercy. Hey, oh, I receive your grace. Hey, oh, I will dance forevermore. Hey, oh, hey, oh, I receive your mercy. Hey, oh, I receive your grace. Hey, oh, I will dance forevermore. Mercy is falling. Mercy is falling, is falling, is falling. Mercy is falling like sweet spring rain. Mercy is falling on the world. Mercy is falling. Mercy is falling, is falling, is falling. Mercy is falling like sweet spring rain. Mercy is falling on the world. Hey, oh, hey, oh, I receive your mercy. Hey, oh, I receive your grace. Hey, oh, I will dance forevermore. Say, hey, oh, I receive your mercy. Hey, oh, I receive your grace. Hey, oh, I will dance forever. Okay, one last time. Hey, oh, to your right. We say, hey, oh, I receive your mercy. Hey, oh, I receive your grace. Hey, oh, I will dance forevermore. Say, hey, oh, I receive your mercy. Hey, oh, I receive your grace. Hey, oh, I will dance forevermore.
Praise the Lord. Sit down, sit down. Angel is having hard time because so many names here, they have to constantly keep writing before the Lord. So wonderful. So your names should be written in the book of life maximum time. How is it possible? Because we need to think of the Lord all the time. And it's not difficult, girls. It's not at all. I'm saying girls once again. Have my boys. Yeah, all those who are there. I'm sure I'm the oldest here, so I can call all of you boys. So now, the next that I want to talk to you, you want to make your life a fulfilling one. I'll give you, you know, when Jesus spoke, when he preached to the people, he spoke to the people, what did he take? What did he normally speak about? Look at the lilies of the field, birds of the air, the mustard seed, the woman with the coin, the shepherd, the usual things that people would see and understand. So I'm going to talk to you today about 7 principles that all of us can follow. From which bird? Eagle. Why do you think all the conquerors, rulers, took the eagle as what? As their symbol of status or anything, they have an eagle. So I want to give you 7 principles, and if you're taking it down, I'm sure it will help you too. So one of the things, you see, eagle fly at the highest altitude, high. They will not fly with sparrow and small birds that are there. No, ravens and crows, and they will not walk with that cock and birds that you walk you on the thing. No, you will see them high on the highest altitude. Even, I don't know if you have watched I want you all to watch this. Even when they want to sit, they will find the highest, which has the tallest tree. Top of the tallest tree, they will go and perch. So, what is important? No other birds come with eagles. You have to, the Lord says, you rise above the mundane, daily things that are happening to us. We get bogged down all the time. My dear people, you are not meant for that. You are meant for higher purpose, greater purpose. So you fly high, soar high. Look for things that can raise you higher and higher and higher. Can you find those things in your life? And you will find. Don't get into drinking, smoking, and all those things. They will pull you down. They will make you walk along with the sparrows and the crows and, the birds that walk on the ground. One with them. No, you are meant for greater purpose. You are special. You are precious. You are meant to be someone different. So you need to stay away from ravens and sparrows. So, okay, the next one, if you have seen, they have the strongest vision. I don't know whether you have seen, they'll be flying high, about 5 kilometers more than high. They'll be flying, but when they spot a prey, they will just simply dive down, pick it up, and go back again. Have you seen it? Have you ever watched it? So why you think they can do that? Because they have powerful vision, and also they are focused. They are focused. And so no matter what obstacle is on the way, nothing can stop them. Nothing. So my dear people, don't think that you will not have obstacles when you want to achieve something in life. You will, but nothing should shake you. Jesus should be your goal, and there you go, diving, and make sure you capture it, and then you fly back. So no matter what the obstacles, now the next one you put. Have a vision and remain focused no matter what the obstacle, and you will succeed. I'm telling you that. That is the second one. Okay, the next one. Eagles do not eat dead things. They will not eat dead things. What is outdated, what is old, what is not meant to be. As I told you once again, you join the bad company, going to the club, pubs, going to the dances. I'm not saying those are wrong things, but your conscience will speak to you what you are doing is right or wrong. And you are supposed to do that. So you cannot have those old things clinging on to the old past things as well. See, most of the time I'm telling you, my people, our life is miserable because we are hanging on to the past. And all the painful things of the past. That person has, hurt me. I will not forgive him for what he has done for me. And all these things are the ones which keeps us down. These are the things which are dead things. Past is gone. Past is gone. That is all dead. So let us not eat those dead things. So stay clear, outdated and old information. Not only the information, the life itself. Our life itself. Do concentrate something new. Research is always something new that you find. And that is found in the scripture. Read your scriptures, you find Always something beautiful, something new you will come across. Can you imagine, if you have seen, I don't know whether, next time when it rains, I want you to watch. Eagles are the only ones which love the storm. What they do, the minute there are clouds gathering, they get excited. All the eagles come out. And where there is a storm, what they do is, they join the wing of the storm, and they go along with the wind. They go higher and higher, and they keep gliding that way. Without flapping their wings, they simply glide across like that. They fly and fly, and they enjoy. Where are we? Have you seen the other birds? When it starts raining, when there is storm, they go and hide. Yeah, we are like that. All of us people, that is what happens with us. We are like those sparrows and crows where we go and hide behind the leaves. We want shelter. When there are obstacles, difficulties, problems, disappointments, failures, what happens to us? It should help us to soar higher. Let's fly, let's glide. We tell the Lord, Lord, give me your spirit. I want to sit on your wings, wings of the spirit, and fly. So we can use the storms of our lives, obstacles, troubles, disappointments, job loss, loss of our loved ones, anything can to rise to greater heights. Achievers relish challenges and use them profitably. If you have seen this Olympic, those sports when there are, the way they perform, my dear people, it's not possible without practice and without challenges. And some of them, when they fail, how bitterly they cry. How bitterly they cry. That should be our attitude as well. When we fail the Lord, we should cry. Lord, we have failed, we want to rise higher. We should have that, okay? And this is, I'm sure, will interest all of you. I don't know whether you have heard this before. This is for all those who are planning to get married. Those who are becoming nuns, it's okay. You can come and tell me. I'll tell you your challenge, okay? But this is for all those who are wanting to get married and all those who are married, okay? And all those who are working, all those who have jobs. Now, here what happens is when the eagles, the pair, they want to mate, it's the female who tries whether the male is faithful or not, can be trusted or not. What it does is this: the female goes to the ground, picks a twig and flies higher. Okay, it goes off. As it's flying, the male has to pursue her. And when she reaches a certain distance, what she does is she drops the twig. Now what the male has to do, it has to go pick the twig before it falls to the ground, ladies. So that means he has to really fly fast. So, and then he goes, picks the twig, goes and gives it to her. Okay? And she will be flying there, happy to see what he is doing. And he brings the twig, she picks it up, flies higher. Once again she drops it. And he goes again, picks it up. It goes on for hours or 2. Not for 5 or 10 minutes. The female wants to really try the male. His commitment, his trust, how much he is interested in her. And then once that is done, then she allows him to mate. And they start the family. So no matter in what situation you are in, my dear people, those who are youngsters, make sure that you check the commitment of people, how trustworthy they are, how faithful they are. You know, nowadays the divorces are so much on the increase. My heart goes out to the youngsters. because I have contacts with so many. I want to give you one or two examples. I think I'm running short of time, but then whatever it is, I feel this is very important for you people, youngsters. Just this girl, the best in the class. I've taught her for 3 years. She was the prefect of the class, wonderfully talented, very friendly, outgoing. You name any, attribute, and this child had. She married. You won't believe it, within a month, her marriage broke. Within a month. Tell me, if that child comes and tells me, what advice can I give her? Because the man was so abusive, she's saying, I couldn't stay with him. I couldn't stay with him. He was so abusive. I've seen so many intercaste marriages. Boys and girls, I want to tell you, romance is for a short while. Open your eyes. Most of them, they say love is blind. But I want you to open your eyes and see. Not only these two eyes, but also your spiritual eye. That is because, don't think just because somebody passerby comes and tells you, I want to marry you, you look beautiful, you have a, they say, your eyes are like oceans where 1,000 ships can land. All that is in the book. You have to lead your life afterwards. So don't get carried away when the people come and tell you. Genuine people, you have to, like this, you got to test. Test their integrity, sincerity. I've seen so many people, after they are married, they are after money, they are after the wealth, they are not after you. Most of them don't want you. They want your money, they want your wealth if you have one. That is what had happened. One teacher told me she couldn't get along with her husband. She said, I couldn't love my husband because he didn't know proper English. I said, what is it? Why are you all getting married? You are getting married for English, Kannada, Hindi, to know that the people have talents, money. What are you getting married for? Or for love? This is all for youngsters. I hope you will keep in mind. There is a mating happens, now they have raised the family. Once they raise the family, this is what happens. They go do it together. The husband and wife, married people, I'm telling you, you have to raise your family together. 50-50. Don't think only the wife has to do all household chores and you go to the office, earn the money. No. You have to see how the children doing. Whether they are studying, they are behaving themselves. What's happening to them? Most of the time children go astray because both the parents are not participating in bringing up the children. And here you better learn from these eagles at least. So beautiful. It is the male who builds the nest. And you know how much of trouble he takes? I wish I had time. I don't want to go into details. Maybe if I have another chance to talk to you, I would tell you in more details. He builds the nest, takes a lot of trouble to bring the thorns and the twigs and the rug and the green grass, and finally he plucks his own feathers to make the chicks comfortable. But once they are ready to fly, that is the final sacrifice the mother and the father makes, to let the children go to fly. Most of the time you hold on to your children. You don't allow your children to fly. When the time comes, my dear parents, you have to allow your children to have their freedom and allow them to fly. But you have to go along with them. You have to support them. And how it happens, you can see here, it is not easy. When the chicks have to be normally, the nest is built high above the cliff. So there is a valley there, gorge over there. So what happens is when the chicks are grown, when they are about to fly, what they do is they just push the baby down. Push the baby down. It is not easy to let the baby go. And the babies, they don't know to fly. So they literally fall. And the male bird goes and picks them up on the wing and brings it back. That happens 3-4 times. And the final time, the birds know, the chicks know that they have to use their wings. So they use their wings. They know they can fly. They won't even look back at their parents. They just take the flight off like that. They keep flying and flying and flying. They don't come back. So don't feel sorry, parents, if your children don't come back to you. We have to allow them to fly. But I want to tell the children, those who are there, that tomorrow you will become parents. You will become parents. So you have a responsibility. You are not eagles. We are human beings. You need to take care of your parents. It's your responsibility. It's not easy to bring you up in life and to see that you fly. And if you have seen that they have seen you flying, but now it is your responsibility to take care of them in their old age. How many parents are let alone, home for the aged? In Bangalore, you will see all miseries. All type of miseries you will come across in Bangalore. And our heart goes out to them. They have done so much for their children, and the children don't even look back. They have grabbed the property, the parents' property, they have changed their names, put in their name, converted everything in their name, and now nobody to take care of. They are languishing in, I should say they are languishing in home for the aged. How they wait for their loved ones to come and see them. All those who are here, youngsters, my simple advice for you, please don't let your parents be without being taken care of. No matter what your problems are, what you are today, it's because of them. So this is the final, so always be prepared and make sure that all of you, the changes that take place, you are prepared for that. And preparation of the family teaches that active participation of both the partners, that leads to success. Both of you parents join together, it will be a very successful family. Okay, so, and you, as I told you, the nests that are being built, there are thorns, the little ones, they think, why are my parents pushing me out so far? They were so kind and nice to me. What happened now is finally they are so hard on me. They have to push you out. They have to teach you to fly. They have to learn you to teach you to be independent. They ask you to do things, sometimes you must be obedient. And girls and boys, I'm telling you, youngsters, your parents, they are not outdated. They are not old. You all might think there is a generation gap. There isn't any generation gap. They have rich experience. Even if I am not a mother, I have got so much of experience from what I've seen. And I'm telling you people, don't think, you take the advice from your elders and the Lord will lead you. And most of the time we tend to, back answer our parents, don't listen to them. We think our friends know better. We do what we want. Not true. Not true. Your parents have the best at heart for you. Best. So please make sure that you're obedient to your parents, and I'm sure your life will be a great success. It's always important that we teach the children to fly. And one more thing, difficulties are like divine surgery. I want to tell you, it is divine surgery. We need difficulties. Otherwise, there can be no healing. There can be no progress. There can be no improvement. And I'm sure it can become the wisdom, knowledge, everything will come only from there. So I want you to, often people have faced maximum difficulties in their early life are the ones who would have strived hard to find new skills, new wisdom, knowledge and experience. Okay. I just want to say a big thank you. It had been a wonderful experience to be in Goa, and I want to tell you I love Goa people and I love Goa.